What is going on, comic book community, everyone, and YouTube? I hope you guys are having a great night. And you know what? Yeah, man, this show is back. This show is back. It's the Rican scale, man. We'll get to more details about that. But I want to say, what's up to my brother John Comics with Kids? How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm pumped up, man. I've always loved jumping on with the Rican scale and chatting it up, man. This is a great, fun live review show, and yeah, we're gonna bust out some good comics.
Yep, that's what we do, man. That's what we do here. And you know what, guys? If you never seen the show before, we did a few months back. John and I were talking a few weeks ago. We were like, should we do an edit video and or go live? And we were just like, you know what? We'll just do it, man. We just go live. But yo, guys, man, everyone in the chat, this is what we do on this show. We just grab a few books, 5, 6. We try to keep it a 5. All right. So we rank these books on the story and their art from a 1 to a 5. 1, like, of course, Edwin will say hot garbage water. 5 being the highest, and then we, you just add those all up, and then you get your grade at the very end.
Boom.
But that's how we do, man. So we're gonna have, we can have Marvel, we can have DC, we can have indies, whatever type of books. But these are some books that we picked up, and you know what? It could be older books, newer books, what the hell is a newer book? A newer book.
They're the ones that Perry buys. Hey-o.
Oh, bam, 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 bam. But this is what we do, man. And I'm always behind in my reading. I did pick up some books, some new books, and I got them right here in front of me. John's got some books we're going to talk about. We're going to have a great time. And with that being said, Mr. John Comics with Kids, you want to look at the chat or I'll do it? What do you think?
I wanted to shout out one guy at least right off the bat, so I don't mind doing it if you want. Of course, 1-2 Comic Talk and Cap'n Comics right off the bat in the chat. But the guy I want to mention is Gamma Rays Comics. And I just subscribed to him today. He just dropped a video, I think, last night, where he was showing how he cleans comics. And it was cool. He was cleaning a She-Hulk #1, which has a lot of white. And he was getting all the grime and yuck off of it. And then he gave you a shout out. He gave me a shout out at the end. He said some nice things about lots of members in this community. And but really, I was just like focused in on the work he was doing. And shout out to Captain Comics for letting me know that he dropped this video, because I was like, I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And you know what? I'm gonna shout out the community, man. You did it this past Tuesday, doing it on the Buy Your Pass, and I really do appreciate you doing that. But you know what? I want to say what's up to 1-2 Comic Talk. What's going on? Captain Comics in the house. Gamma Ray Comics. John just mentioned you, sir. Of course, right now we have the Wolf from Brooklyn, New York. Wolf Warner. Yo, Wolf Warner. What's going on? And right now, my brother from CTT, part of the Four Horsemen. If we're not united, we have the ruler of all the comic jabronis. He is Edwin, the comic jabronis, man. And we got here Two Gun Pedro. What's up? The Wednesday Pool List. What's going on? We got DK Comics and Cosplay. You know who that is. What's going on? That's Delphia. Hello,
Delphia. Yeah.
All right. We got 36 Chambers Tattoo Studio. Yo, from Pennsylvania. Yo, check it out, man. If you ever around, you want tats, comics, all you got to do is click his name, and you'll find out more details about that. Represent PA, brother. Thank you. We got Kachung in the house. What's going on? Leo Marquez. What's up? Here he is, man. Perry Comics. And there's like he said in his video. Oh, Flash. He runs fast. Perry Comics. All right. Bye. We got Wolf. We got what the hell?
Oh man.
I saw a comment. Where did it go? The chat, this flyer it is. Oh, Wolf in the house. Just going down this list. Zelo's Comics, what's going on? Fictional reality arts.
Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes.
What's up, brother? And let's keep it going here, man. Just a little podcast. Hello, thank you guys. What's up, Cookie? Marcus Muse. What's up, man? Double S. What's going on?
How's it going? Double S. I love the logo. Super cool. I'm not just like a big fan of Iron Fist, but I just dig the style of the way that looks with all the black. It looks cool, man.
Yeah, that yellow pops out as well.
Yeah.
Pretty nice, pretty nice. We got Rag718 in the house. Middle West Comic Man in the house. Yo, man, we're hanging out, man. We're bringing back. This is the Rican scale where, you know, we grab some books, like I mentioned earlier, and we're just going to rank them, you know, based on the story, based on the art, and let's see how it goes. You know, it could be hot water, garbage, or a hot book. But you know what? This is what we've read lately.
And so I got a mixture on my list. So when we get to my first book, somebody in the chat's got to tell me what I got to start with, because I got some indies, some DC, some Marvel, and you know Rod and that Buyer Pass show, they always love to scatter the love. So if you have one we want me to start with, indie, Marvel, or DC, I got 2 of each going here. I don't know about you. I know Rod's got a bunch of that Marvel. He's got some good Marvel books over there.
They're all right. They're all right. So let's see what the chat wants, man. You want some indie Marvel?
I think I'm the only one with DC. So if you want DC, it's going to have to be me. But we'll see what people want. Let's see what the chat feels like they're interested in hearing about.
All right.
Well, I see DC right off the bat. And Kachung calling out my book because it's right here, sucker. Look at this.
You knew it was going to happen, man.
Boom, boom, boom. So it's DC, and I'll do it right now. This Lois Lane book is good, guys. And I'm going to show you this art. I will say the artwork on Lois Lane is pretty good. The covers are not usually good. So if you're a cover buyer, I understand if it's disappointing. This might be the best cover they've done yet. I love the Lois, and her shadow looks like Superman with the city behind her. It's really cool. She's just putting on her jacket all badass. So she, at one point, there's a fisticuffs going down between this skeleton skull-faced woman and the Question. And it's a spread page, which means it's on 2 pages. If you want to blow this up a little, Rod.
All right, we can do that.
This is crazy cool. I loved these. I mean, I almost went back over this a couple of times before I moved on, just to see all the different fight moves, all the different things that are happening, all the different. It's just cool. It is just cool. So I'm going to post this for Spread Page Saturday at some point, I'm sure, but it's just cool. I love the action of it all. So this sequence blew me away. So for me, that's the art for the Lois Lane book is probably among the best. I do agree. Lois Lane cover A issue 1, Frizen, was pretty great, but I dig the style of this. It fits the story really well. You already sold Lois Lane? Oh, don't call her that. So again, so that's not Wolf Warner. Sorry, that's D. Piercy. Dan. So for me, story, I've really enjoyed this story. I think it's really exciting what's going on. So I'm going to give the story 4.5. I really thought the story was fire. I think the art for this comic has always been inconsistent, and I would say this is still true here. I'd give the art a 4. It might even be a 3.5. It might be right there, which gives the overall comic an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. I will say I wish they'd given Greg Rucka a better artist overall, especially on the covers. It's always been a big disappointment. But the story is so good. And there's a great sequence when she's had an attack on her life and the police are interviewing her, but there's a ton of police all the way down the hallway where they're interviewing her because they all know now that she's married to Superman. His identity is out. And they're waiting to get a picture with Superman. So all the police officers are lined in the hallways. And of course, when Superman shows up, he just blasts past them all to talk to her. And then she's like, you know what you can do for me? You can't help me. I don't need your help, but I know they would love some pictures. So there's this whole sequence where you see Superman taking pictures with all the police officers in the city. I thought that was really cool.
Nice, man. Yo, man, that's pretty dope. That's a nice review, man. And man, you know what? I don't know where to even start. I don't even know where to start.
Well, you got that Marvels. Why don't you do some Marvel? Pick a Marvel book.
Well, I don't know, man. All right. I'll do this, man. All right, so you guys already know I'm always behind in my reading. So I was catching up with some books today that I picked up yesterday, but I'm trying to read some stuff from last week. But
No
you know
shame.
what? What was that?
There's no shame.
There's no shame in the game when you're
I'm finally getting to Jason Aaron's original Thor run. I bought that trade, a week ago. So I'm going to be reading OG Jason Aaron there.
Nice, man. Nice. But you know what? I will have to say, Avengers of the Wasteland. This is a great read, guys. I'm telling you. I was like talking to John off camera, and I told him he loves the old man story, old man Logan.
I do.
And if you're digging that, you need to read this, because all I gotta say is we got some Doctor Doom, we got some Ant-Man.
Yeah. A new Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Ant-Man want to take out Doctor Doom. And then at the very end, if you haven't read it, there's there's a shield involved. You need a shield. So throw in maybe a star involved. If you want to take out Doom, you need someone else, man. So there it is. This is a great read up. Well, I have to say
did you read Dead Man Logan? Because that's the story that leads right. So they did a 12-issue mini or maxi series killing off the original Old Man Logan character, and then it sets up this, right? Because it's got one of the Hulk kids. You've got Luke Cage's daughter as Thor, because she got the hammer. She finally picked up the hammer.
Sure,
like they're all in here, right?
They're in here, and that's why I don't like to do a lot of spoilers and stuff like that, guys.
But that's not spoiler, because that's all from Dead Man Logan. If you've read Dead Man Logan, this is basically just continuing that story, which I loved. I have the whole run. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I did not read like Dead Man Logan, so I just like left it alone. That's why.
But you could still follow it. You felt like it wasn't confusing.
No, it felt like it was just a brand new read. It was just like, felt cool. And I loved it so much that the ending, when I saw, I'm gonna say, man, Cap. When Cap was there, he was like, you know what? If you're gonna do this, you need me, man. You need me. So that was the cool thing about it. And overall, man, I think the story, the writing was well done, on point by Ed Brisson. I give it a 4 for the story. The artwork, at times, it had its points, and I'll give it a low grade. I give it a low rank on the Rican scale. I give it a 2.5. So overall, I give it a 6.5 on this book. But it was a great, great read, guys. So you guys, man, if you've read any books, feel free to leave them in the comments for us, man. We're just curious to know what you've read and how you rank your books based on story and art. So just feel free to leave those comments below.
Some questions about your book. It's not a one-shot, right? It's a new ongoing, or at least a new miniseries?
I believe it's a miniseries.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it's not. Well, I'm hoping it's not an ongoing, because it said to be continued. So,
it sounds like some real exciting stuff going on in that book, and I probably should have picked it up. I'm being hard on my pull list, so that book it was right there, and I ended up passing, but I probably should have picked it up. It sounds amazing.
All right. So, who's in the house again, brother? Who's in the house, John? If you don't mind.
I saw that Bake the Snake has rolled in there, and Tacoma Comics, Old Wolf and Wolf Warner are having a little wolf off in the chat. Frank Marr Jr. And of course, Dan Piercy saying John's got wisdom, which not a lot of people say about me, but I will take it whenever anybody says it. Agu Ramos and Leo Marquez, the Comic Assassin. I think that was everybody I got.
Cool, man. It's nice.
I woke up this morning at 4:30, Kachung, so I'm sorry if I'm looking tired. Plus, I had a field trip with my students all day out on a boat going whale watching. We saw some amazing whales, and I usually post the whale watching videos to my YouTube, so they'll get up there. But we saw 4 gray whales in a pod, sort of together. It was amazing. Beautiful stuff. But it's exhausting. All that's tiring. Does the chat? I don't know. I'm going to go with a Marvel book unless the chat tells me otherwise for my next book.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Your thumbnail, you picked this cover, which is gorgeous. You get the knives, you get Bishop in there, you get Pyro in there on the knives. Super cool. Throwback to one of my favorite X stories, which is the Mutant Massacre. So the previous issue for this was a huge cliffhanger with Kitty Pryde seemingly dying. They drown her. And the theory is that she can't resurrect, that her character is unable to resurrect. We do not get the answer here, which I was very happy about. I did not want to find out that either she could or couldn't be resurrected. I wanted that to last.
I was upset, I would have to say.
She was not in this, which bothered me a little bit that she wasn't even in it. But of course, it's more about the bad guys. You know, Sebastian Shaw has this whole plan. And we're getting to see why he needed the Red Queen out of the way, because he wants to put a vote on the table, right? So you get a lot of that backstory. My favorite bit is when Bishop attacks this squad, right? And he just sticks his hand through the Krakoa gate and drops a grenade and then pulls it back through and blows up all these guards because the explosion can't come through the gate and hurt him. But it hurts all those guys. And then he jumps through it, starts popping caps and guys, and he gets in a great, knife fight with this other guy. That whole sequence, I loved it. Story-wise, Rod is right. I was bummed that they didn't even get into the Kitty Pryde thing, really, that they just sort of ignored it, and that character was left out of a Marauders issue was a little bit of a bummer. So I will probably give the story a 3.5 out of 5. The art was pretty consistent. I'd give that a 4. So this is probably a 7.5 out of 5 for me. There he is, dropping that grenade through the Krakoa gate. I thought that was so cool.
It was cool.
I haven't. Old Wolf, I do a whale watch video once every year when I take my students out. So I'll drop these new ones. But yeah, so for me, it's probably one of my least favorite Marauders books, but it's still a Marauders book, which is better than a lot of the other books I'm reading. So I'd probably say 7.5 out of 5. Hopefully they push it a little further. Yes, Bishop is huge in this, and I thought it was awesome. I like the character Bishop. I think he gets a lot to do here.
Nice, man. Nice.
Boom. There you go. Some Marvel. If anybody wants me to do, let me know. Indie, Marvel, DC, whatever you want me to do next. Just drop that in the chat, and then when it's my turn, I'll pop that. We'll pop and lock.
Yeah, we're pop and lock, and we got a bunch of stuff here, man. Yeah, I'm not usually prepared when we do we bring back the Rican scale. It was not something that we really had planned, but we did talk about it. But you know what? I'm gonna have to say this, man, for sure. I did pick up this book, and it was a key book, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat on it right now. But you know what? I get a lot of heat on a certain book that I read. And I don't care, I'm going to throw it right back out there. So I picked up this Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their first appearance of Shredder as the Green Ranger. You know what? Maybe it's because I'm like, this is the 3rd issue. Maybe I need to go get the other first 2 issues to really understand what's going on, because I'm like, I was like, what the hell I'm reading here? So I read 3 pages. I was like, all right. But I would have to say, I like to see the Turtles just doing their thing, just hanging out, joking around, and Michelangelo and all them just doing their thing, eating the pizza. It reminds me back of the old days. I was never a fan of Power Rangers. I'm more of a Voltron fan. You guys already know that. But overall, I have to say the art was okay. It was all right. I give the art a 3.5. And actually, it's a pickup because if you got this Shredder as a Green Ranger, that's pretty dope. But I noticed at the last page, you got all the turtles, and they're holding this the Power Rangers, something like a badge or something. So I don't know what's going to happen after that. I don't know if they're all going to become Rangers. I don't know, but the turtles are holding on to something. Like I said, I did not finish the read. I was just couldn't get into it because it was 3 issues in. Didn't even read the first or 2 one. So, but I have to say, man, the art was nice, and props. That's all I have to say.
And I think buy what you like and read what you buy. It's I think that if you're enjoying it, then obviously keep reading it. If you're not,
sure.
I tried a Power Rangers book when we had Burke family come on the book club, and it just wasn't for me. I was like, there's a little nostalgia from the show, but for me, it just doesn't hold up, and I didn't read it. But I know people that are loving it. People are loving the turtle. Obviously, Edwin's in the chat. He's loving that stuff.
Burke family, he loves his Power Rangers, so that's why I'm not going to crap on it, because that's a third issue. I don't know too much about it. Maybe I need to read the first two and find out what's going on. But you know what? It is what it is, man. But I like the art was dope. So.
So if we got time, my next one is Wolf Warner's request. He called out his shot, and I am responding. He wanted X-Men and the Fantastic Four issue number 1. Brother, you are spot on. This is probably my read of the week right here. But I knew it would be. I had faith in the two people behind this book. Number 1, Chip freaking Zdarsky of Daredevil, of Spider-Man Life Story. He is writing this, and I'm like, yeah. Then you throw in the great artwork of the Dodsons, and I am sold. You got me front to back. This book is amazing. It answers a lot of questions I have about the dynamic of the Richards clan. I thought this was really well put together. The artwork was just on point. It brought in Kitty Pryde, that was maybe my only big frustration. Kitty Pryde is supposed to be dead at the bottom of the ocean right now. How is she over here helping out the Richards family with their problem with their son? Obviously, they're trying to tell us that this story takes place before Marauders issue. What are we on now? So before issue 6, when she drowns. But that means they're publishing this way late, because if they want us to be reading all these X titles in chronological order and keep up with everything, this is way out of order, and that was frustrating to me. Okay. I want, if you want me to read these in chronological order and keep up with what's happening in time, or you don't. But this one feels out of order. That part bugged me a little bit. But that's a small quibble. I would say the artwork is a 5. I thought this artwork is fire. It's just great. I love the Dodson style. I'd say the writing is a 4 and a 4.5 range. So we're talking a 9 at least on this. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it could go a lot of ways. So I'm pumped to see where this goes. Yeah, it's got Storm on the cover. Kachung, you know it. Storm, Kitty Pryde, the Fantastic Four, Magneto, Xavier. Even Wolverine's got a ton to do in this. This book is awesome. It's everything you'd want from an X Fantastic Four title.
There it is, man. That's a great review on that book. But we were talking about Marauders. So we didn't get to see what happened to Kate. We all know that she drowned in the last issue. But at the end of this issue, we found
Lockheed the dragon.
Yeah, so all right, so they got that. So where she's at, someone has her.
Yeah, but they did say the dragon might have died. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, Wolf Warner's with me. Wolf Warner, you and I, we're like eye to eye on these things. Yeah, man. Yeah, I wish Marvel could stay on schedule and keep this stuff coming out, but I understand with artists as talented as the Dodsons doing interior and cover, and a writer as busy as Zdarsky, it's going to be hard to keep on track like that. But so it's a small frustration, but in the end, you're going to need to read this before Marauders issue 6, and they just published issue 7 this week. So it's more than a month late at this point.
All right, man. A few more people in the house, John. If you don't mind, can you say hello? Of course. If you don't mind.
Buenas noches to the Rican Comics. Thank you for coming by. Super Russ is in the chat. Thank you for coming around. Appreciate it. Yo, Bueller's got the Bueller mug. I don't have anything fancy on mine yet. Let's see here. The Wednesday poll list has been in here most of the evening. It's nice to have you around. And did I miss anybody? Lost in Comics just jumped in at the bottom there. Hello, Lost in Comics. Two of my favorite things.
Exactly, man, for sure.
All right, so let's see. I did both my Marvel books. I did one DC, which means I got 2 indies and a DC. People in the chat can let me know what to show. I know Rod's got a bunch of Marvel, though. He's got you covered over there.
Whew, man, I got 3 Marvel. I got 1 indie. Oh man, one of these Marvel books may be hot garbage water. So I figure let's throw out the hot garbage water first. And you know what? This Amazing Spider-Man, the Daily Bugle, I did not really dig it a lot, and I'm not even going to talk about it too much. The art, I give it like a 2.5. Story, the same grade. A bunch of things are happening here in the Bugle. They're just shaking things up. You know, Spidey's in there, and they're like, "Well, we need you to do this," and they're telling everybody new jobs. You need to do this and that and that. And at the end, there's like an explosion, and I really not dig it that much. But Matt Johnson was doing the writing, and Mark Chatter was doing the art. It was not that great. That's issue 1 of 5, and you know, I'll give it a shot, man. That's the first issue, but that's just me. I like Spidey. I wanted to give it a shot, but you know what, man, I'm not picking up issue 2 for sure.
And that takes a lot. You pick up a lot of Spidey books, so if you're saying that it's frustrating you, then that's on another level. That's my thinking. Yeah, they always have another Spidey book. Ka-chung, just like DC's always got another Batman book. It always seems to be happening. You know?
All right, so
it looks like people are asking for some indies. I'm sorry, Wolf Warner. I passed on the book Rod picked up, which is The Man Who Messed Up Time. I'm going to say messed up because I got my kids running around. But I passed on that book. I glanced at it. I hope that it's great. People are saying good things. I skipped it. I'm going to share a book from last week that I finished up the run of Second Coming. I think this book is hilarious.
You like the solo layout? I'll leave you the solo layout.
I've been enjoying this from the beginning. I only had a couple of issues with the story. I thought a couple times it got a little too heavy for me. I thought it was funny. I thought it was creative. And I thought the story made me think about a lot of big topics in fun and original ways. So I was happy with the way it ended. I liked the way it ended. You've got the superhero with his kryptonite weakness that he's dealing with. You got Jesus with his I love that they bring in the veggie platter. It's a big part of this issue, just like in Mr. Miracle when he fights Darkseid, and he's got the veggie tray as a big part of that. I thought it was great use of throwback to more DC stuff. I found this hilarious. I've really, really enjoyed it. It does set up a sequel potentially later on, but you could read this story and it has an ending. It finishes the story it wants to tell and teases at a future story. So if you've never heard of this, this was a DC book. They had originally planned Superman and Jesus together in one story, but they decided that DC was going to protect the Superman character, and so they sold it to Ahoy Comics. Ahoy rebranded it a little bit, but it's all there. There's a lot of DC throwbacks and comments happening here. And again, it was an original idea, really fun, really funny, and I've enjoyed it. So I would say story 5 out of 5. I would say art is not amazing. It's probably a 4, maybe a 3.5, because it is what it is. I like it well enough. So in the end, you're in that 8.5 out of 10 range.
Nice, man. Score. That's a high score, man.
I've enjoyed it. There was at one point when I was thinking of cutting it, and then they hit me with issue. I think it was issue 3, issue 4, and it was so good that I was like, okay, I'm in for the rest of this. I don't care where it goes, and I really have enjoyed it.
All right, man. All right, nice. Man, I'm down to 3 books. How many books you got left, John?
I got 2, so you better go.
All right, so
I got an indie and a DC. So somebody in the chat, tell me if they want to hear an indie or a DC next.
All right, so I got 2 Marvel and 1 indie. I got 1 indie. I know Wolf Water knows what it is, man. We were talking last night, and whoo! Can I take it away, John? If you don't mind,
you do it, brother. It's you. It's all you.
All right, man. You guys know I'm far behind in my reading, but you know what? Rodney Barnes and Jason Sean Alexander are knocking it out the park with Philadelphia, man. Philadelphia is, I mean, let me tell you something right now. Not because of Rodney Barnes and the first name is Rodney, because that's my name, but you know what? You want to go and watch some vampires in Philadelphia, you threw the fish line in and you just hooking me up, man. And I'm right there. I'm pretty much digging this book, is what I want to say. And not only that, you could throw the second president involved in this all time. There's a connection to that. There's so many things
that Wolf Warner is mentioning it in the chat. Yeah,
there it is, man. There it is. Wolf Warner. He read issue 3, so yo, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's all based in Philadelphia, and anything that has to do with Philadelphia, I'm digging it. And stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned, because Rodney Barnes, we emailed each other, and an interview is going to happen. I'm throwing that out there right now. Woo! I spoke to Wolf Warner. Wolf Warner said, I'm in. So right now I'm speaking through email to Rodney Barnes. Pretty much, he takes care of everything for Rodney Barnes. And Rodney Barnes is, man, we chatted for a few seconds through email. Sounds like a nice guy. And this may be one of the biggest interviews that we'll have on Coast to Coast Comics. So stay tuned for that. But overall, guys, if you like vampires, this book is great. It's a great read. This is not no plug, I'm telling you right now, because overall, I'm digging the story. It's a 5. The art, I give it a 4. And that's just me, man. So there it is, man. Vampires in Philadelphia. You want to know more about it? Pick it up, man.
Told me on it. I'm curious to try it out. I'll tell you that. I may do the trade or something at some point.
Yeah, it's just the art is like grimy and dark, and you got the vampires saying, "Hey, let me have that cup of blood," and they just. But there's more to it. I don't want to give too much. I don't like spoiling any books. So, what you got next, brother?
All right, Lost in Comics says DC first. The last 2 books I got are from a week ago. Okay. There's not a lot of great DC books I'm reading these days. I'm sorry to say there aren't that many that I'm really passionate about. The one I probably like the most is Last God. This is issue 4.
Nice.
The artwork is a 5 every single time. It is just absolutely off the chain. So good. So much detail. So much talent on presentation here. The story is high fantasy. You have 2 storylines happening simultaneously. You have a group of heroes in the past who seemingly defeat the last god and start an era of happiness. Then you have in the modern time those heroes being revealed as something of a fraud, and that maybe the last god is still alive. And the last god comes back with a vengeance, and now they have to really fix what they kind of just didn't do right the first time. This issue is really cool. They get to a sanctuary city where they think they're going to be safe from the last god. Inside are all these dead characters, and there's this one girl, and she's using her magic to bring one of them alive to make it talk. It's this creepy zombie head that like talks and has like glowing green eyes or something. It's just creepy. The whole thing is just awesome. I really do dig Last God. If you haven't had a chance to try it out, issue 3 is probably still my favorite. I would give that one a 10. It is perfection. Wow. This is issue 4. I would say issue 4 is probably going to be a 9 out of 10. It's probably a 4.5 and a 4.5 just across the board, or a 5 on the art and a 4 on the writing. I know something in that range. I just absolutely love it. I love fantasy stories anyways, but this is probably the best fantasy comic I've ever read. It's just that good.
Wow. I mean, I read the first issue and I was just like, but you know what? But I mean, everyone's liking it, man.
Why would you like?
Everyone's digging it, man. That's the thing. Maybe I have to do a trade thing, like you just said a few seconds ago. maybe I have to start doing something like that.
If
Maybe
they
it's
release
maybe
it,
the way to go.
if they release the trade in a really high quality format, because the artwork, it demands more than just a basic trade. If they do something like a high end prestige format, I will definitely purchase that trade. Absolutely.
All right. So, man, I got two more books, and these are both Marvel. John, I'm gonna show you one that people have been talking about it online. It's been sold out on Diamond already, but yo, let me tell you something. We were talking about this book on Buyer Pass, and you was there with the panel members of Edwin and Perry. But you know what? I said, I hope that I don't have to add another book to my pool list. And holy coconuts, this book may be on my pool list now, man, because you guys know, man, the story where Darth Vader chops off Luke Skywalker's hand. Everything just takes off from there. It's a different story, man. It's dope. But you know what? Man, Darth Vader's trying to find out who's the one that made his freaking Luke Skywalker a punk and just not too strong, man. Just make him a weak loser, pretty much. So he's on a hunt, man, to find out who made Luke Skywalker this way. So we're gonna find out in the next issue. But man, there's a bunch of great reviews out there for this book, and also for all these comic books that we're talking about. And for sure, man, I had to say this, man. Edwin the Comic Jabroni did a great review on this book. So if you want to know more about it and more about certain of the books that we read, feel free to check out Edwin the Comic Jabroni's channel. You know what? I'm not want to do spoilers and do great reviews and stuff like that. I just like to rank the books on the Rican scale, man. That's what I mean. So you know what? This story was fantastic. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. And you know what? It was a Greg Ruka. No, Greg Pack. Greg Pack.
Greg Pack, yeah.
Yeah, Greg Pack. Excellent on the writing. There was nothing wrong with it. On point. Every page you've read.
He is also one of the nicest guys you will ever meet at a con. He always has his own little booth, his own little space. He doesn't have crazy mobs. He's always patient and ready. I even ran into him in an elevator at a hotel, and he still wanted to talk to me and be nice. It wasn't like, no, I'm not at the booth. Leave me alone. He was like, he is just one of the nicest guys. I've been to 2 cons. He was at both of them, and I spoke to him both times. He was really friendly. Nice, man. And you know what? I have to say the art, I give it a 4. I kind of like it. You know, the story was more important than anything. So there it is. Overall, this is a 9 out of 10. John was giving out 10 to a book 2 seconds ago. But you know what? Yo, man. And I like when you first turn the page, it's like, it makes you feel like you're watching the Star Wars movies from the very beginning. It was nice, man. If you haven't seen it, I'll show you real quick. It's pretty dope. I think Old Wolf keeps holding up his cup. Yeah, he's holding up his drinks. This is what I was talking about. So right away, when I seen that, I was like, wow. And it's like, boom. And it just keeps on going. It makes you feel like we got to scrawl. Yeah, words in space. Yeah, is this a drinking game? I think Old Wolf's playing a drinking game. Every time we say a certain thing, he takes a drink. I don't know what the thing is. I don't know what it is. Don't want to know, but hey, Old Wolf, enjoy, sir. Let's talk about Funko. Says Greg Pak is a great person to chat with. I missed his signing of this book a day or 2 ago. That's too bad. I'm sorry, brother. And I'm hearing great things about it. I have not bought a Star Wars comic in years, decades, maybe. I'm looking forward to in March. I'm gonna be purchasing an issue 1 of a new Star Wars comic, so I'm sure I'll review it at that point. There was a run prior to this, just Darth Vader. It was, I think, 5 issues. That was dope, man. I heard great things, and then there was before that. There was one called Vader Down, which I heard was really, really great. There's been a lot of buzz on good Star Wars books.
So the thing is, John, man, I'm not trying to add more books, but then when I read something like that, it's like, what do I do, man? I already dropped off Venom. We talked about that this past Tuesday. I'm dropping Immortal Hulk. I already dropped Avengers. So it's like, all right, so I got a few bucks there. Let's do the math, 4, 8, you know. But next thing you know, I gotta add that book on my list, man. It's already high as it is. But
I'll say I got a few coming off my list because I've been buying these indies that go in short spurts. They do a mini series and they stop. So like Second Coming is coming off my list. My next book is coming off the list. So I got books that, like Once in Future just came off the list because it's not going to have a new book for who knows when. Die came off the list a couple months back. So my list has shrunk just based on the indie side alone. So, you get to play a little bit with, hey, I'm going to try that book. I'm going to try this book. I know that the Last God is going to end here soon. I'm sure it's only got a couple issues left at the most anyways.
All right. Man, how many books you got left, brother?
Just the one.
Oh, man.
I got one indie book. It dropped last week. It's another ending to a storyline, and I thought it finished really well. You ready?
Oh, yes, sir. Show it.
Something is killing the children. I've really enjoyed all 5 issues in this storyline. This might be my favorite cover A that they've done. I've usually bought all the cover Bs. The cover Bs have been amazing, and I've that whole set. I'm almost thinking about slabbing issue 1 because it's probably a 9.8. It's such a gorgeous book, but the story is really good, and this is the big fight battle finale. And it paid off everything really well. I think it's definitely worthy of reading. If you skip the trade or you skip the book and you want to grab the trade, I'm sure it's coming soon. This is a really, really, really good book. And I'm going to definitely keep this on my pull list going forward. Just like Once in Future, when these books start coming back, if they bring back Strange Skies over East Berlin or this, or when Once in Future comes back, I'll be continuing to read this. This was a really good read. Super fun. I'm not even a big horror comic fan. I don't read a lot of horror comics. This was more of an adventure thing for me. A little bit of the Stranger Things maybe mixed in, but this was really good. Sorry. So on scale, I would say 4.5 on writing. I would say 4 on art. So we're at 8.5.
Wow, that's high.
I don't buy a lot of books. I buy the ones I like. So very rarely do I get low grades unless it's book club, and then I'm trying something out and it could be an absolute disaster.
Well, hey, man, that's how we do, man. This is how we buy what we like, and that's the bottom line, man. If you fit into your budget, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
So if you don't go out there, searching for speculation. Well, that's up to you if you want to do it, but you know what? I'm not doing it. But
I don't have enough money to spend on spec. I buy the books I want to buy, and sometimes I can sell them because I decide I don't like it so much anymore and somebody else wants it. But most of the time, I just buy the books I want to read. I don't think I've ever bought a new comic book day book and not read it. I just buy them because I want to read them.
Yeah. Either that or I just buy books off John, like a Taskmaster or, just a second print of Miles Morales. They're just all behind me. That's just because I'm
going to be selling that Thor at some point. That Beta Ray bill is going to have to go, I think.
Oh, okay. I get that at a good price, $75. So, all right.
$5.95, just $5.95.
All right, man. So we're down to the very end. I want to keep
the last book.
I want to try to keep this under an hour. And you know what? I talked about this book. John was there on Buyer Pass. Thor issue number 2. Donny Cates. I have to say, man, I dropped Venom, and Donny Cates is doing it. But this right here, I don't even know what to say, man. This is a great read, and Nick Klein is doing the art, and the art at times is kind of whatever. But man, when you see Galactus and Thor going at it, that's where the pages are just, the colors are just boom, man.
Yeah, Rod shared a couple of screenshots of the book, and I was like, dang, that looks pretty badass. But I'm staying strong. I'm on a Donny Cates withdrawal program. I'm just reading Venom right now. I'm holding back on all my other Cates right now.
But it was nice to see, Donnie was saying, the gods and stuff like that. And then he threw in, you can see the streak of blue of Superman flying. Then you see the streak of green flying. And you could know he's taking, I don't want to say taking shots. I think it's just a fun thing that he's doing. And DC was like, all right, well, he's doing this, whatever. They're just having fun, and I think it's a nice thing that DC and Marvel they're doing their own thing like this. And then you see Flash in the bottom. It was nice. I kind of dig it a lot. But man, you know what? This was a fantastic read. The story was on point. There was nothing wrong with this book from start to bottom. 5 for the story, 4 for the art. Home run with a 9, not a 10, not a 10. But you gave out a 10 tonight.
I gave out a 10 for a book that I didn't share tonight, but I do think that there are occasions when a book is so good that it's a 5 out of 5 on every level. But that sounds like an amazing book, that Thor.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it, man. I really do. But yo, this is it, man. This is the return of the Rican Scale, man. Hanging out right now with my brother John Comics with Kids. And I want to say thank you so much to everyone in the house, man. We're 28 deep in. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. This was, how can I say, we spoke about it for a few days or maybe a week.
We're always trying to figure out a way to fit this in. It's always a trick, and I'm glad you were down to do 6 books tonight, because I was like, I got too many. I got 2 Marvel, 2 Indie, 2 DC. I just got to do it all.
Oh, man. We got to do it, man. We got to do it. I need to start reading some more books. My stack is gigantic. I mean, look at this, guys.
I have a stack of trades that I'm starting to drown in here. I need to really start doing a weekly reading of a trade, but it's hard to fit it in. Ooh, there you go.
I haven't read that. I picked that up. It's just it's crazy, man. I
still got 3. I got 3 to read for this week. I got Double Trouble, Money Shot, and then I know we got this bad boy to read right here. Well, wow. I've saved these 3. I still need to read these 3 from this week.
Yeah, that'll be for next week's show. All right, man. Yo, I'm your boy Rod the Rican. That's my brother right now from the very beginning, John Comics with Kids. Hey, John, let the people know if you got something going on your channel, man.
I'm super close to being done editing my newest review with silly characters video, and I'm hoping to drop that tonight, but I got a little toasted here with Rod, so we'll see how well I can get that done and uploaded. But it'll be today or tomorrow, my new character review video, Marvel, 3 Marvel books, 2 of them Spider-Man books. And it'll be a whole lot of fun, just me pretending to be different silly things. And should be some laughs. Should be like a 6-7 minute long video. I got a whole series of these. If you go to the playlists on my channel and look under reviews by silly characters, you're going to find just a whole bunch of funny videos like this. I think they're kind of entertaining. Silly costumes, silly reviews. And I'm starting a new weekly segment. Already, the Robot John gets a weekly segment, Hot Takes from Robot John. Now we're going to add in Mr. John's Lego Neighborhood is going to get a weekly segment each week. And then I'll have 2 other new characters dropping reviews. So that's what's going to be in this new video. Lego John's Neighborhood with a theme song, theme music and everything. And a hot take on Marvel from Robot John.
Is Alec going to be in the house?
He's always going to be somewhere in the Lego universe, but each week my goal is to bring new members of the comic book community into the Lego world. So this week I'm bringing in, let's just say Rod will be interested.
Oh, I'm going to well, I guess there'll be a little Lego with a hat on. saying buenos dias, hermano. You never know.
I can't go beyond that, but we will see how that goes. I will do a live premiere as always. It's only 6 or 7 minutes long, so it'll be just a fun little 6 or 7 minute hangout.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That's my friend, my homie. We just don't hang out here. We talk off on the phone, off camera, text, whatever. This is the cool thing about the comic book community. We just, just don't do this just to do it. But we build a friendship, and that's what I want everyone in the comic book in the community to do too. It's just not just here, just chatting, man. Just build a relationship to each other, and that way you can open doors and make your shows and do things, man. That's the cool thing. What John and we agree on doing this show, bringing it back. It hasn't been done in months, but I want to say thanks, John, for coming back on the show and doing it. And not only that, the amazing chat as always for being very supportive. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it, and thank you for supporting everybody else channel, man. And
hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell because Rod drops fire.
And not only me, but John does too. And share the content. Share the content. Spread out the people that may be digging stuff like this, or just stuff. That's what we do. And with that being said, guys, enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow is Friday. I hope you guys have a blast, and stay tuned for Coast to Coast Comics every Saturday, 8 o'clock, and the comic book community shout out show. There is a special guest. I left my tablet charging, and I'll leave out the notes and all that stuff and who's coming on the show and all that good stuff. But you know what, yo, man, thank you so much for hanging out on this last minute return of the Rican Scale, hanging out with John and myself. With that being said, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Peace.